All right, well, we have an update to a WTOC investigation about the limited resources for people who are involved with crashes and police officers. Our very own Shay Schrader joins us now with a preview of her story tonight because, Shay, it sounds like some legislative changes are being proposed now.
Yeah, so this all started when we started looking into the rate at which Savannah police officers get into crashes with civilians, and we found that they actually crash at 2 times the rate of Atlanta PD. And after learning of that statistic, we started tracking down some folks that have been involved in these crashes, and we found a case of Luther Roberts, who in 2019 was in a crash with a Savannah Police Department officer, lost his leg, went into a coma, was in the burn ward, and so he has a lifetime of medical expenses that he has to take care of. Well, he only received a $500,000 settlement from the city of Savannah, and as it turns out, state law dictates that if you are in a crash with a police officer, that is the most amount of money that you are entitled to from a city or municipality unless they choose to carry higher coverage, which many municipalities don't. Well, after we aired that story, we ended up speaking with State Senator Derek Mallow, who said it might be time for the Georgia General Assembly to take a look at raising those limits, or the cap, you could call it, because the last time it was raised was in 2008. And as we all know, with inflation and medical costs rising and things of that nature, $500,000 in some situations just might not be enough for victims.
Mm-hmm. So you said the senator said these changes come down to inflation, things like that. When you did your original reporting on this, talking to that victim of the crash, $500,000, was that able to go a long way, or?
No, not at all. He said that it didn't even cover his initial medical expenses, and we're talking about, when he was in the hospital immediately following the crash, when he was in a coma, when he was in the burn ward and things like that. To this day, he said that he still has things that come up that, he is forever seeing a doctor for something. We even had to reschedule the interview with him several times because he ended up in the hospital for some issues that he was having with his eyes that he said he believes stems from that crash. So he said that he and his family are on the hook for paying for it, and it is a major financial burden for them.
Gotcha. And Shay, I know you've done really a series of stories about this now, the Crashes with Cops series, which is all available on WTOC.com under the Investigates tab. But you mentioned earlier that SPD gets in crashes at a rate 2 times higher than Atlanta police officers. Do we know why? Because that's quite a disparity right there.
That's what we're trying to figure out. The GDOT data that we base this off of doesn't distinguish who is at fault in these crashes. Although according to SPD's own data, there were over 300 officer-involved crashes in that same time period that were listed as preventable. Now, in the original story, I talked to Alderman Curtis Pertee, who has decades of law enforcement experience himself, and he said that he thinks it could be a combination of things. We've all driven in downtown Savannah. We know how congested it is. It can be a little bit difficult navigating the squares. We also have a lot of truck traffic around here from the ports. We have a lot more foot traffic here, likely than Atlanta does, just anecdotally speaking. And so it could be a combination of those things. And Alderman Pertee says that he has been advocating for and looking for a larger police officer driver training space in Savannah because he thinks that the one that SPD uses now is just simply too small.
I see. Well, Shay, certainly looking forward to your full story, this update this afternoon. What time can folks watch that?
We will have the full story on The News at 6 and then a little teaser at 5 p.m.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Shay, thanks for joining us here on Plus.
Thanks.